With great power comes great responsibility, and me and Mike, the Good Brothers, are here to give you all the latest news, reviews, and previews for this week leading up to the holidays. Say hello to the folks, Good Brother.
Hello, folks.
Mike, we got some sad news to start on. You want to just kind of break it down for us?
Yeah, over this past couple days, we lost legendary actress and director Penny Marshall. You may know her from Laverne and Shirley, or for most of us of our age, Big and A League of Their Own.
Now, she directed those movies, so I don't want people trying to look for, like, how could she be in both movies?
Yeah.
She was an actor in Laverne and Shirley. I don't remember which one she was. I remember Laverne and Shirley. Okay, she was Laverne, which is the taller one, I believe.
Yeah, she had the L in the
but she, like, physically, she's the taller one.
Yeah.
But she directed, which is where me and you know her more from,
Yeah.
Big and A League of Their Own, which is Tom Hanks. Probably two of his biggest movies, not including Forrest Gump.
Now, breaking the fourth wall, you have actually never seen Big, right?
I've never seen Big, but League of Their Own is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, and that's what I want to get into. It's funny how, like, it's a movie about women and about baseball, but, like, there's so many connections to Chicago because of the history that actually
it's
had
filmed at Wrigley.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool because there's so many great actresses that are in that movie. And then you have Tom Hanks in that movie, and Tom Hanks and Penny Marshall must have had this great connection with one another.
It's such a special movie, like you said, because you have a Tom Hanks, you have a Rosie O'Donnell, you have Oscar-winning actresses in it, you have Madonna in it. Like, there's a lot of big things that happen in that movie, and I still think it's one of the best sports movies ever, one of the best baseball movies ever. I haven't seen Big, but that's just because it's a little. I don't like the old style humor, but I respect what Big is. Like, I know the piano scene. I know all the important stuff.
And we just want to quickly shout out Gina Davis, is who we forgot to mention. And then obviously the main actress, Madonna.
Oscars. That's where we go.
Yeah, that's where. But like you said, when going to Big, one of my favorite movies. It's such an innocent movie, but obviously we can make jokes about it. And you've seen it now in 2000, in like the internet era. We're like, well, I mean, she's a grown woman, and he's technically like a boy in a grown man's body.
Mentally a child.
Yeah, and it's really funny. But Tom Hanks plays such an innocence in it, and it's directed so beautifully, where there is a whimsical charm to it, and it's like, well, no, this is who this kid's gonna grow up to be anyway. He's gonna be this charming. He's gonna be this much of a child at heart for all life, and I think that's why. And Penny Marshall saw this in Tom Hanks, and I think the rest of Hollywood did, where he is. It doesn't matter the role, you accept him as that role because he just. I don't want to even say he becomes Daniel Day-Lewis where he morphs into it, but in Big and in League in Their Own, she directs him into believing like that's who he is.
He's got an innocence to him. Yeah. He's got a charm to him.
She brings that out.
Yeah, she does, because after this he gets real serious. And then I think it's kind of said backwards. Like, then he becomes Daniel Day-Lewis, where he goes to Castaway and Philadelphia. This is more an innocent, up and coming Tom Hanks, and without that Tom Hanks, we don't get the other Tom Hanks. Like, he needs to go through this stuff,
and that's with her.
And I love the humor. I would love Tom Hanks to do another comedy.
Yeah,
like another. I think it is time, because I'm sick of Bridge of Spies and The Post. Even those are great movies.
Those are great movies,
and he does great. And he'll win another Academy Award before it's all said and done. What's he got? 2, I think. I believe 2.
Perhaps, yeah.
I believe it's because I know it's not. Daniel Day-Lewis has the record with 3, and Denzel has 2 also. I believe he has 2 for Forrest Gump in Philadelphia. I could be wrong, but I know he's at least got 1, people. So regardless, he's going to get 1 more before it's done. I would love to see a comedy.
2.
He's got 2. Okay, I was right. Go me. Yay.
But yeah, I mean, we're gushing over him, and that's because Penny Marshall showed a side of him.
There's not one without the other.
And exactly, and here's the big thing is she was one of a kind, only 75 years old.
Yeah, diabetes, I believe.
Yeah, and part of Hollywood royalty, and she was just such a fixture in this industry.
She did a lot of TV, like a lot of good TV programs, like a lot of episodes. Like, she was busy.
So,
she was working.
In a year where we've lost so many legends and influential people in our field, it's wonderful to know that people's creativity and their love and their passion does live on. It is true. Yeah. You can leave a great, memory behind and a great legacy.
And the problem with that in WWE right now is, like, we're hitting that golden age where the golden age was a long time ago now. Yeah. The 60s, the 50s, 70s even. And these people are getting older. So now it's different when they were in the 1920s, movies just started, or wrestling just started, sports. We're getting to the point now where we really do remember, and like the highlight and the TV era, the radio era, where now we really know these people and have a face to these people, and like social media is so big now that we can do an outreach to these people.
So from everybody here at Mercado Airwaves, from the Good Brothers, we just want to extend our appreciation and our love to Penny Marshall, her family. Thank you for the legacy you leave. and Godspeed in the voyage on the other side.
There's no crying in podcasts, Mike.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
And here we go.
Get ready, get set for the best movie and pop culture talk in the universe. It's the Good Brothers on Mercado Airwaves with your hosts, Alex Mercado and Mike Mercado.
All right, Alex, we were treated to maybe one of the most fun experiences I've had in a movie theater, not only all year, but that I can remember. And I am so glad that we live in a universe that has this in it. Good brother, we got to see Spider-Man Into the SpiderVerse last night. It is arguably the hottest trending movie right now in Hollywood. It has everything in it. I'm going to let you gush on it. Why don't we do this? We'll do the Good Brother special. Give me a quick synopsis of what you thought of the movie, a grade, and then we'll get into spoilers.
Movie's fantastic. The anime's fantastic. Music's fantastic. Voice acting's off the charts. Writing's off the charts. I'm going to say now, it's the best animated movie of the year. It's the best superhero movie of the year. And that's Avengers. I'm saying Avengers number 2. But it's the best superhero movie. And guys, it is the best Spider-Man movie to date. That's a big 3 to hit, dude. Like, that, and I know that sound like that's a lot, and I mean it.
Yeah.
And Mike knows I mean it. Like, we got to fight right after the movie because I'm like, no, it is the best Spider-Man movie.
And we'll get into
it's
that fight.
almost like if you took Tom Holland's charm, the original Raimi writing, and the '90s cartoon, and you put them in and you make a baby out of them,
wrong.
and you just have
You're not
you're like, wow, like I like. Some people were asking if it could be done live action. Yes, Miles can be. Not this movie. This movie is so fun the way they do it. Now, can you do Miles Morales? You better.
Sure.
You better. If you're Disney and you don't do a live action Miles Morales, you're dumb. Yeah. You're just dumb. But I love that it was animated. I love this trend that we might get maybe more superhero movies like DC. Steal this idea.
And
Marvel, even Marvel, because that's not Marvel, guys. That's Sony. Steal this idea. Some properties can be animated and are better off that way.
How many out of how many Spider people are you giving
5.
this?
Perfect.
5 out of 5.
Perfect movie.
Perfect. I will give it 5 out of 5. It is my second favorite superhero movie of the year.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
It is.
What's your number 1?
Avengers: Infinity War.
That's fine.
It is my top. It has cracked top 10 of the year. I will have to make the list as we go on.
We'll do the list with special at the New
the
Year's.
front runner, and if it is not just nominated, if it does not win the Academy Award for Best Animated Film, it is a sham. It was a sham when Wreck-It Ralph didn't do it. It will be a sham if this doesn't do it.
Wreck-It Ralph is not going to get its Oscar again, man.
Shout out Wreck-It Ralph. We love Wreck-It Ralph and everybody part of that. Alex, I love this movie, And for anybody, go watch it. It's great for the family. It's
for
great
everyone.
friends. It's great for everybody. It's an enjoyment. There's awesome music. It's heartfelt. There's great moments. There's great turns. And it tugs at your heartstrings. It brings you to places that you didn't think a movie like this would bring you to. Go watch it. 5 out of 5 from the Good Brothers, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Alex, it is time we hit the interdimensional button. We are going to spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Alec, the turn for when we see Dr. Octavius is a lady in this movie.
Yeah.
The way we see these bad guys come in through.
I like his universe, yeah.
His universe is very unique. And what I appreciate about this movie is I thought it was going to be very convoluted, where we were going to be traveling through universes before we concentrate on Miles. This is a Miles Morales movie. This is a movie about a half Puerto Rican kid in New York City who is finding himself. Yeah, in Brooklyn, who's finding himself. Who's literally the story of Spider-Man. And, that's the one thing I think a lot of people were complaining about this. It's like, well, Miles Morales is literally the doppelganger of Peter, except he has a different ethnic background. But when you actually see it in motion, and not just in paper, because paper does a great job, but when you watch it in motion, it's like, yes, a lot of us have the same story, but it's different journeys in that story. It's a different emotion throughout that story. And this movie explores that so well beyond the superhero stuff. Just exploring this idea of, you and I talked about all the time about diversifying these characters. This is a great example of, you don't need to change Peter Parker. You just create a character like Miles Morales.
Thank you for finally going to my side on that.
But this is the first example we've seen of this, where this exists. This could happen. And the fact that it was animation lets it be unbound to anything that Tom Holland and the Russo brothers and all these guys who are making these MCU movies and Venom movies have to be constrained to.
And what's funny is you mentioned an animated movie. It doesn't feel like an animated movie because the writing is so crisp on it and the emotion is so good. I just love the movie, Mike. Like, there's nothing I don't love about it. I think what I love most is that that's us up there. That's a Hispanic Spider-Man. And like you said with the origin, like, it's similar. But, guys, every superhero story is pretty similar. And they kind of joke it in the movie where you get the background of every single Spider-Man, and they've all lost. It's either a dad, Uncle Ben, a best friend. They're all similar stories.
But they feel different.
Yeah. And you appreciate that. Nicolas Cage stole the movie for me.
Yes.
As the noir Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So classic.
Liev Schreiber.
Spider-Ham. Kingpin. I love how obnoxiously cartoonish they made him.
They made people laugh
because guess what? That's the Spider-Man we liked in the 90s.
Yes.
And I guess here's my argument with Tom Holland Spider-Man sometimes. And I love Tom Holland Spider-Man. I didn't personally grow up with a kid Spider-Man. You didn't personally grow up with a kid Spider-Man.
No, he was a college Spider-Man.
We grew up with he was kind of muscular and he was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So that's why maybe I liked Andrew Garfield. Not as good, but I like the movies, whatever. But I think that's why I like Peter Parker in this movie is because I felt that again. I'm like, I don't want nerdy high school Spider-Man, honestly. I'm good with that. Miles can do that. I like the Peter Parker that's cartoonish, just like Kingpin. Yeah. I like the Goblin in this universe. It's a Goblin.
Yeah, I did kind of and this is what's kind of cool about what happened in this universe is, at first, I'm like, oh, you know what? It kind of sucks that Goblin's not really going to be a part of Miles' story because they kind of show you it's going to be a throwaway thing.
Yeah.
Because they show you right away the Goblin. But what's cool about it's like, well, you know what? I've already seen the Goblin 17,000 times.
We've seen him, like 3 times?
Yeah, and we're going to see him again in the next few years. Like, that's... So, for them to be able to explore Kingpin, who right now with Vincent D'Onofrio in the Netflix universe, it was hot. And then at this point, a lot of
Sorry
Vanessa
for the
jokes.
fans in the audience, because we didn't have no choice when they showed us.
Vanessa.
I love how, like, they made him old school, like, Italian mobster, and we're so used to the calm, quiet one. Spoiler, I know we're in spoilers. When they kill the original Peter
Spider-Man.
Parker,
so you want to break that down for
universe?
Anybody? So this is for anybody who's a little confused about
break
about
them down,
this. There's multiple dimensions. Marvel has done this for a long time. There's multiple dimensions, and in real life, in our real life, there was the comic book, the Spider-Man run, and then they made the Ultimate Universe. It was a lot of like Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Spider-Man. Who Ultimate Spider-Man was? Miles Morales. And in this universe, you're seeing a lot of different characters that are, different orientations and different versions of them. Well, in Miles' universe, Spider-Man dies. And Miles takes over because he gets bitten by a radioactive spider and so on and so forth. In this movie, they're going interdimensional, and the Peter Parker in this world is about 26 years old, successful, the ultimate good guy. The Spider-Man that we all think about when we think Tom Holland grew up. And he quote-unquote tries to save New York, and he gets brutally murdered in this movie. He gets blown up. It crashes. He's on the ground. He's coughing. He's telling Miles you have to save the world. He just promised Miles he was going to train him. And Kingpin literally walks up to him, yells at him, and smashes him.
By the way, it's also Chris Pine is the voice.
Yeah, Chris Pine's
like, you got Chris Pine out of bed in the morning for one day, and it's so great because, like, the difference when we get that Spider-Man and the Nick Spider-Man, Nick Johnson, very good, Mike. From New Girl
Is it
Girl
Jack
fame.
Johnson or Nick
Jack
Johnson?
Johnson.
Yeah, Jack Johnson.
From New Girl, he's very much an everyman. I love the voice choice because you get a Chris Pine, he's very heroic and good Spider-Man. Then you get the 20 years later Spider-Man from Jack, and it's like, you're like, that's hilarious.
Yeah, he was great.
Because it's like, hey, we started the same, but guess what? This is what happened 10 more years after you lived, and it gets harder, dude. And I love that. And, like, we're really not going to go into all the characters right now, background stories, because there's a pig, and it's hilarious. And Gwen Stacy is phenomenal.
She's great. And you know what? I understand now why everybody was clamoring for a Spider-Gwen Spider-Man woman movie. Like, I get it. Like, yes, that...
Because that post-credit scene is the only one that really counts, because I don't think the future one, I think that was more just a kickback joke.
Okay, maybe. I can see
I don't think Spider-Man 20... Because, like, that's a hardcore reference.
But not really, because Miguel O'Hara made his way into the Spider-Man TV show, and he was in the video games.
Yeah, but like that, remember, that show lasted like a third of the seasons, the original. It did very bad review-wise. It did very bad viewer-wise.
Sure.
For us, it's good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's in the game. Maybe
his name is Miguel O'Hara. I want to see him.
We got Miles. Let's just do Miles. I want to see Miles and Gwen go against... You know what? Honestly, like you said, they're so good, and I've seen Spider-Man so many times now. I don't need a villain we know. I'll take a new villain from Miles that I've never seen before, because I'm sure he's got some good ones.
Or somebody who we've heard of but we haven't seen yet.
Never mind, I want Rhino.
I was gonna say Rhino would be a great one.
Rhino.
Well, no, now
Crush the spider.
By the way, we already know Mysterio. We're gonna start getting views of him. Yeah, it's already been out. Like we've talked about,
we've been talking about for a year, guys. Yeah. We told you.
So and that's why you guys got to be listening to us here on the Good Brothers. But the big thing is, I think we can kind of start making guesses of where both universes are going. I think Sony knows it has money in Venom and it has money in the Spider-Verse. I think they want to dip even more into the Marvel pool. Because if you look at the way all this kind of goes together, it allows them to play in both universes. It allows them to be like, hey, Marvel, why don't you help us out with Venom? And we'll keep doing the Spider-Man thing with the Spider-Verse. So now even add more leverage to it.
And Marvel's done, because we sat there and be like, Marvel must be kicking themselves for two reasons. One, they want Spider-Man. They're like, damn, can we have all of Spider-Man, not just Tom Holland in some movies? Yeah. And two, they must be like, damn, Lord and Miller really did a good job on this. Maybe we should have kept them on Solo, huh?
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, if we were going to do bad, we might as well have done something big, and people tend to have liked it. I'd love to see a Star Wars animated full-length film.
That would be great.
I'd love to see it.
I mean, we've seen it with the Clone Wars.
Yeah, but a good one. Yeah,
but better.
And I get it's TV, and I don't need everything, things are separate, but I'd love that. I'd love if Disney just said, hey, let's do that. But they got Pixar. They already announced their new movie with Chris Pratt and everything. So, everyone's fine. I'm good for Sony. They're having a huge year with Venom. Technically, Spider-Man's there still, so that's their success too. And now this movie.
And the Avengers, with Spider-Man being in that, all that residual stuff, they have completely knocked it out of the park without really having to do much outside of their comfort zone. They're like, we know how to do Spider-Man. We don't know how to do Spider-Man sequels, but we know how to do Spider-Man. We know how to do initial stories of him.
We got this. I mean, there's movie doing so well. There's rumors that I'm bringing back Sinister Six.
Okay.
I would love it if they just put Sinister Six in a Miles movie.
I agree.
And do it like that. That'd be so much fun.
So before we rank them, let's talk about what we want to see moving forward for this universe. So
Venom crossover.
I was gonna say, do you want it? Let's start it this way. We have the MCU, and then let's move on to the next column. We have Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Then we have Sony's Venom and Sony's Spider-Verse. Do you want to see Venom now kind of move over to MCU status?
No.
And you want to see Spider-Verse kind of just take over all of that, love child that they have?
I want to see a combo. I would love if a part 3 to both movies is like an Elseworld thing where we get both. Where we get introduced to an animated Venom and a live-action Miles Morales.
That would be great.
No, that would never happen.
No, but
I would love if we got our next sequel for Spider-Verse in 7 years. And then they just said, hey, let's do one where they're transferring one. So half the movie's animated, and then we're going to bring them over to this universe. And because remember, the way Venom ends, they're in the universe technically. They even say in a different universe. So in one, we get a live-action Miles Morales. Then you can say, hey, let's kill Tom Holland after 5 movies or something. Hey, let's bring in Miles Morales as Spider-Man. Because by that point, Tom Holland will be on his like 5th Spider-Man.
But do you think now? So then, let's take away the MCU and Tom Holland. Do you think Do you think Venom and Spider-Verse are going to cross over now? Do you think that's what's going to happen?
I think it'd be wrong not to. That's fun. Why not throw in? I mean, obviously, the easy thing to do is, why not throw a Venom into the Spider-Verse that he gets in there for some help or something, and like Tom Holland does a voice act.
Tom Hardy would make an easy paycheck to just do some voiceover for a couple weeks.
That would be fun, and they both made a lot of money. Like, to have a Spider-Man logo is not the worst thing in the world right now. It's like an old Batman logo.
And then we get to go on a casting hunt to see who would play Miles Morales in a live-action movie. That'd be kind of cool.
Fun.
That would be
There's
a
lot.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good people now, but we got to think, guys. We're talking 7. Yeah. Like, I love when people do their fan casting, and I appreciate that because that's fun.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, the movie, you got to think, we're not going to get a live action for maybe another 4 years, at least talked about realistically. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at that point, you're like, they want someone young. Like when they got Tom Holland.
No, they want.
You didn't think Tom Holland.
Yeah. You wanted 17.
You probably thought someone that was like 20 at the time. You're like, but they want it for 10 years.
Yeah.
So we need a baby who looks like a baby. So like 18-year-old that looks 16.
And they'll find him.
We don't want a 21-year-old that looks 24.
They'll find him.
Like a Taylor Edgerton or something. Like you don't need those guys. Like, they look too old.
It might be the kid from. I mean, right now we were casting.
Give me the little boy from Blackish.
No, it'd be the kid. If we were to cast it now, it'd be the kid from Pokemon.
Oh, yeah. We were doing it right now. That's what we were doing right now. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You got to take someone that's probably the guy that's going to play Miles Morales is probably 10 years old right now, guys.
Oh, yeah, no, he's a baby. He's a baby right now.
And it's okay because there's plenty of shows out there to pull them from.
And I disagree with you. It'll be more than 5 movies for Tom Holland. He's going to be in there.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's a while. Like, by the time we get a Miles Morales, Tom Holland will be on the way out as Spider-Man.
So, this is the moment everybody's been waiting for. It's the main event. Let's go ahead and rank all the Spider-Man movies. Little backstory, Spider-Man arguably is my favorite superhero. It's always between him and Batman. Spider-Man's what really got me going into movie theaters when 01 came around with Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man. I was obsessed with it.
They're opening raid.
I had to beat the video game before I went to the movie theater because I needed to see what the differences were between the two of them.
And that's before we knew that they had nothing to do with each other, and it really threw us off.
And it was just really random William Dafoe voiceover stuff. So
I think Spider and personally,
let's get into it. So let's go from the bottom. What is the worst Spider-Man movie?
I mean, we both agree it's between two
movies.
It's either Spider-Man 3 or Amazing Spider-Man 2. I think Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the worst movie.
I agree.
Because at least Spider-Man 3 closes up that chapter, and Sandman's great.
Yeah, Sandman's
so I agree. So that's an easy 2.
So boom,
done.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna Mike, write these down so we don't lose track. So we're at Amazing Spider-Man 2, the worst one.
Okay.
Spider-Man 3 would be next.
Okay.
And now you get into a tough point because I believe all the Spider-Man movies at this point are good, very good movies. Some are fantastic and great and historic, and some are just very good.
I will go Amazing Spider-Man as the one that's coming up first.
I won't fight you on it. Now, here's the problem. We're doing our list together, people, so we're going to have to agree.
Yeah.
Because here's my debate.
We're going to get a debate in the top.
I personally think next should be Homecoming. Because I think Homecoming is very badly written with a bad guy, and the only thing that saves that movie is Tom Holland and Iron Man's chemistry. Besides that, the movie's bad.
And I think the next one should be Spider-Man. So
we might have to separate the list.
So we're going to separate the list. So we know what the bottom 3 are in this one. So going up to the top, I have Spider-Man 1. You have Homecoming.
Yes.
So moving up, what would be your next one? Would you have into
Spider-Man 1 now?
So you would have Spider-Man 1. I would have Spider-Man 2. Now, would you have Into the Spider-Verse or
Spider-Man 2, and then Into the Spider-Verse, like I said on Facebook, it's the best Spider-Man movie created.
Then I guess I would have Into the Spider-Verse and Homecoming at number 1.
Nah, that's actually a very... Like, me and Mike left it, and we're like, I don't agree with you, but, like, I respect that pick because that would be the only other choice.
Yeah.
In that decision.
So this is where I think the difference lies between the two movies. And I was thinking about this last night because I'm like, I want to say Into the Spider-Verse is my favorite, but I have to, and I can't, I wanted to take away points for it because it was unique, because it had something over the other movies. But I will say this is the difference between Homecoming and Spider-Verse was the same thing I said about Red Dead Redemption and God of War. Homecoming was something that it had to recover and join into a universe. It had all the pressure in the universe. It was coming off of some of the biggest movies ever, off of the biggest introduction ever. And it made you emotionally invested in this kid we've never seen act besides the 7 minutes he was in Civil War. Into the Spider-Verse had just as many obstacles as an animation movie, but at the end of the day, this was a kids animation movie. Homecoming is a movie that's supposed to bring you emotionally invested not only into a whole series of movies, but make you care about this kid that's supposed to be superhuman but is also fighting this adversity.
Child.
So to me, it's a wash. I will never argue for anybody saying Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie ever. But to me, Homecoming had a bigger obstacle to viewers than the other.
Here's my problem with that, and like these are opinions, guys, so that's kind of hard for us to argue. Because I told them, I'm like, I wouldn't mind if you would have said Spider-Man 2 was your favorite.
I love Spider-Man 2.
It's the fact that Homecoming, to me, besides Tom Holland's character, like you mentioned, the writing is bad. It's a bad written movie, and the bad guy doesn't pay off. It depends heavily on the MCU, which is fine. Yeah. I mean, if you got it in your corner, why not use it? But besides Tom Holland's chemistry, like, I feel like if Iron Man's not in that movie, it's not as good, and that's not a good sign. I think SpiderVerse is better written. It's more emotional. Through animated voice, I felt more for that than I did for anything in Spider-Man Homecoming. And I think it comes back to more me personally than you, is that Homecoming was such a letdown and miss for me. And it's one of my least favorite MCU movies in the last 5 years. Like, I like Iron Man 3 better. The only movie that's better than for me is Doctor Strange. And I didn't like Doctor Strange. And I saw Homecoming twice because I wanted to be like, maybe I just was tired. And I'm watching, I'm like, Michael Keaton's a waste. I like Hot Aunt May. Tom Holland's a goddamn golden child. I love him. I want to put him in my pocket. The Mary Jane story's dumb. I love Zendaya, but she's dumb. His fat friend is fine. I don't like the modern day Flash Thompson bully. Like nowadays, we're smart kids.
You're not a high school kid.
But that's true. No, I know it's true. Yeah. Like being smart is like being a nerd is popular.
Yeah.
But the party is just so unrealistic. Like I just feel like some of these MCU movies, some of these are so bad written. Especially after we get a Thor Ragnarok, a movie which was with Taika Waititi, who wrote it great, or a SpiderVerse. And it just gets me upset when I'm like, Homecoming was the same as Venom almost. Like it's so basic. The only thing that changed it is Tom Holland's goddamn golden child and Tom Hardy's fun.
I mean, I guess the argument always is the same for the Iron Man movies. Like, other than Iron Man movies are not always...
One is fantastic.
It's fantastic, but then Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3, even though I like Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3, they are movies that rely heavily on the MCU and on Robert Downey Jr.
Iron Man 2 does. Iron Man 3 is very outside of the MCU, to be fair.
So, for the most part, but it's a lot about Robert Downey Jr. It's all Robert Downey Jr.
I like that. At least it's creative. I like when
it's all Tom Holland, though.
I felt like Homecoming took no chances. Now, here's the thing with Spider-Man 2. Me and Mike grew up arguing for 10 years that Spider-Man 2 is better than Spider-Man 1.
Something? Spider-Man 2, for me, up until The Dark Knight came out, Spider-Man 2 was the gold standard for superhero movies.
And I'm going to give it to Mike. We argue, because I used to think Spider-Man 1 was better. And over the years, as I watched him, like, Spider-Man 2 is a better movie. And I had to retract that. Because I'm like, Spider-Man 2 has so much heart, but guess what? And I guess it comes down to this. The reason I think Homecoming is one of the bottom ones, it's one of the only movies that the bad guy doesn't sell for me. Because Alfred Molina's Doc Ock cry. Even in this movie, you feel for Kingpin in the animated one. Homecoming, Michael Keaton's, I think, a good guy. Or I don't even know if he's a good or bad guy.
But that's Michael Keaton, though, too.
But I'm saying you wasted it. You wasted Michael Keaton.
I wonder how much of that is Michael Keaton, though. Like, if it were somebody else. Like,
I see MCU, dude. Let's be honest. Before the last, before recently, they've been pretty missed on bad guys.
Oh, but then you can't then you have to use that argument for every other movie that isn't Killmonger or Thanos or Loki.
Oh no, I know that, but like Thor, I love Thor.
Yeah, she's good.
His sister's okay.
She was part of that.
I'm just saying, like in a modern Spider-Man being put in the modern one in modern MCU to come out with a bad guy that I felt nothing for was a very big letdown to me because they were on such a good roll of like, okay, I care about these bad guys.
Now, will you admit though, universally, Homecoming is beloved?
Not as much as you think. I think it's what's on Rotten Tomatoes?
I'll find out right now.
I think it's in the 80s. I don't think it's a 90 like you hype it up. But if it is, I'm gonna be upset, and maybe I'm just crazy.
Yeah, we'll check that out right now.
Rotten Tomatoes.
So on Rotten Tomatoes, Spider-Man: Homecoming has a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's great. That's a great score. SpiderVerse is gonna end with like a 98.
Yeah, no, and then that's the thing though. It's like this argument is literally talking about
an
Hall
A+
of Fame.
to an A++.
Yeah, like there is no right or wrong. But this is, I think why we did this is obviously everybody's ranking the Spider-Man movies, but I think this is more not just for clickbait. I think this was more to explain to you how this movie really is a must-watch.
And you and me have had these debates for years, so we might as well put it out there because we've always argued the placing of Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
I think Batman we're always pretty dead on. X-Men were pretty dead on.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's always been the point where we're like, no, I like Willem Dafoe's thing. Or, no, I like Homecoming. No, Homecoming's dumb. Andrew Garfield is better.
But this is why I love both Batman and Spider-Man, but this is the difference between the two. The only thing you can ever identify with Batman is the fact that he's a man. He's a human. But with Spider-Man, there's so much more, just like a lot of Marvel characters. You relate to the high schooler, the kid struggling through college, struggling through relationships, trying to juggle multiple things and holding responsibilities. And in your own little minute, mundane way, they make Spider-Man into the fantastical. You could be Peter Parker. The movie does a great job explaining that.
No, here's my argument. I can't be Peter Parker because I don't relate to Peter Parker's story. I think Miles is more approachable. Miles is more approachable because, like, he has his struggles, but guess what? He's got a good mom and dad. He's got a nice family. He's a smart kid. He's popular.
Look at Alex.
But his issues are more real world.
And May is great, and Peter's the same thing with finding a job, going through school. So does Miles Morales. The point is,
but I'm talking about Tom Holland's specific one. I guess his is a little more comic booky to me. It's extreme because, like, his parents died in that big plane crash, and he goes, like, a lot bad happens to him. Like, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like, Peter Parker goes through a lot of bad stuff, like loses his uncle, loses his parents.
But so does everybody.
He's like super nerdy and unpopular. I don't relate to that because I never had to go through that much. Like, I'm a normal person, like, in a sense where you and me had very nice upbringings. We had a great family. We went to school. We had a lot of friends. You were popular. You know, people knew Mercados across the hallways. So I guess that's why I relate more to Miles than Peter Parker. But that's me. Like, that's just an opinion of, like, where I relate to. And maybe that's why I like SpiderVerse better, because I'm looking at him, I'm like, he's more a real approach to a mom-dad relationship than Peter Parker, who lost, like, several people in his family, and he struggled. Like, I can't understand his struggle for Peter Parker, because it's so extreme, and that's fine. Like, that's his background.
Very interesting stuff, so we suggest going to watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Shout out to all those in Sony.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
How
buddy?
you, sir? I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
And here we go.
Coming up holiday season, it has finally come. It is Aquaman and Bumblebee. Both of them coming out. Alex, why don't you go ahead and let us know which one you want to see first? Which one are you going to look forward to?
We decided we only had one choice for Thursday for opening night. We decided Aquaman because for some reason Mike's just getting hyped on Bumblebee, which is funny because we went into the movie last night. He's like, I'm not that hype. I'm like, well, it's got good reviews. He's like, okay, that's fine. He saw the preview. He's like, I'm a little more hyped now. He's like, I think I want to see it, but we got to see Aquaman first because it's been 2 years in the making. Jason Momoa is our spirit animal. He's King Drago, or how do you say it, Mike?
It's Drago.
Drago?
Yeah.
That sounds weird because it's a Rocky movie.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited for Aquaman. You know what sucks, though, is I think you felt the same way leaving the movie last night. After seeing something like SpiderVerse, to go see Aquaman where you know as much fun as you're going to have, there's going to be issues, it kind of bums me out a little bit. I'm going to put that away, though.
I've gone back and forth on Aquaman. Both things can be true. You could love Jason Momoa and James Wan and think the movie is going to be a mess. and it could be a mess, and it could be fun at the same time.
I need it to be a fun mess. Like at this point, I just want I want a Venom style fun mess.
It's the thing I've been saying about this movie all year since the promotion started. I have no idea if this movie's going to be any good. There's already been people saying, "Oh, it's horrible. It's too fantastical. It's too jokey. It's too colorful. It's too this." But these are the same people who hated Batman versus Superman, who hated Man of Steel. So, my opinion is basically this. We live in a society that people have no idea how they want their fantastical characters to be created. They know how Marvel does it. The Marvel characters are different than the DC characters. Aquaman's a different movie than what you're going to see in Iron Man, just aesthetically. And it's their own fault. It's Warner Brothers' fault they're in this position because they decided they had no idea which tone they wanted to set. And now they're expecting their audience to go into this movie and expect Wonder Woman or Man of Steel, and they're going to get Lord of the Rings.
It's tough because I don't blame Warner Brothers alone. They've done a lot bad. It's not a fandom because we're so spoiled with the MCU because it's a 10-year system built nice and easy that we expect every genre to do the same. So we can't appreciate a fun, fantastical DC movie. And I think DC's finally getting the right idea of like, listen, that's why we're pushing Wonder Woman. Like, we're just going to have fun with this James Wan and make money. We're just going to do a Joker standalone and be gritty and cool. And then we're going to do a Shazam that's like a 90s throwback. Speaking of, big.
Yeah.
And I like that. And I don't think they did it on purpose, Warner Brothers. I think the fandom's just so toxic sometimes where you can't hate or love anything. Like Dan Murrell said it best. He's like, I don't look forward to this anymore because I have to fight it. I have to fight someone. Whether I love The Last Jedi, I think it's a masterpiece, I'm an idiot. Or whether I hate Aquaman, I'm a show. Yeah. Whether I think Avengers is just okay, like, it sucks. And luckily you and me are more in like the middle fingers in the air. We're going to like what we like. Yeah. We don't even confine to each other. We'll argue each other in the movie theater if I like something. So for me, all Aquaman has to do is be different. I want it, I'm going to be disappointed if I walk in and it's not as cheesy and 90s fun as I thought it would be. And that's what I want.
And before I go a little bit deeper into Warner Brothers, I want to go see Bumblebee. I'm very excited to go see it. Yeah. It looks like it has heart. It looks like it actually has some spirit in it.
You tell me it's the best Transformers movie yet out of the 6, I'm in.
And I love the first one. But the difference between the first one and the rest of them, the first one had spirit. It had emotion. I was invested in these characters. It had
what you would call acting.
Yeah. This one feels like somebody cared about this story. Somebody cared about these characters. And at the very least, they cared about making a good movie about Transformers.
John Cena!
Dun, 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 dun. Now, my biggest thing, I think Aquaman's going to make money. I don't think he's going to crush. I think he's going to make money. He's not going to crush.
No.
He'll crush internationally. It won't crush
here. I mean, it already has.
Yeah. But it won't crush
What is
here.
it? I think 200 million.
Yeah, last time I checked.
In like 2 countries. So I guess worldwide it'll crush. I don't think, like you're right. It won't crush here.
It will beat
Mary
Poppins.
Yep.
And that was the argument.
Agreed.
We were always kind of like wondering, like, okay, who's the dark horse in that race? Aquaman has nothing to worry about when it comes to that movie.
The difference is Mary Poppins needed perfect reviews because it's supposed to be. It didn't get it.
No.
It's like Christopher Robin. It's like, it was fine. They're like, you bring your kids. Aquaman, at least, like, they're going to watch this Aquaman.
Yeah.
Like alone, we have the studio TV in the background. We see, like, 10 Aquaman commercials.
No, they've gone all in.
Like, come on.
And I've heard people, and, like, I follow on social media, people in the sports industry, people in the business industry, and some of them think it just looks dumb because it comes on a lot of commercials on sports. And a lot of them just think it looks dumb.
They're talking about it.
But they're talking about it, and people are going to watch it. Kids are going to watch it. I think it's going to make money. I don't think it's going to crush. I don't think it's going to make Venom money.
Guys, don't underestimate how much women love Jason Momoa.
Women love Jason Momoa. Yeah.
And Amber Heard.
She's
Come on,
beautiful.
like,
She's wonderful.
They're advertising this the exact right way.
Now, I guess if I were, I'm going to do something a little different. I've seen a couple podcasts start doing this, especially in wrestling, and I think it's very responsible for people like us who have microphones. Instead of just being negative, especially on my end, I want to give some constructive ideas and criticisms. If it were me, if I were in charge of Warner Brothers, I would completely scrap, not the movies, not the universe, but the idea of a universe, of a single line universe. What you do is you make a new banner. You're like, every movie that is now made is under the DC comic universe. They're all movies. Maybe one day Shazam does live with Superman, and maybe one day Superman will be in a Shazam movie. But until then, enjoy the Shazam movie. And it's one of those things where we just live in a universe where these movies exist, and maybe one day Wonder Woman will meet up with Green Lantern. Doesn't matter. You're not confined to two. We have to make Wonder Woman first. Now we got to make Batman. Now we make Superman. Now it's Justice League. It's like, no, make your movies, and whatever you fall into, whatever luck you fall into, follow it. Go that cookie trail.
I mean, I'm going to throw it out there since, we do the news, and I'm a big DC news fan. We have, 3 confirmations. Matt Reeves is finished with his script by the end of the year.
He was supposed to be, yeah.
By January 1st, which I believe, because he wouldn't say it if he wasn't. Matt Reeves very proper. Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill are still signed on to play their roles at least one more time, but there has been heavy rumor of a contract extension. I think if Aquaman hits and Shazam hits, I think they're going to do kind of what you said. It's not a reboot, it's a side shuffle of hey, shuffle bass.
Yeah.
Hey, Joker's coming out, shuffle bass.
Yeah.
We're just going to make movies, and you know what?
Wherever they go.
Batman's going to be by himself. We'll probably have to throw Superman with someone because Superman's Superman. When Henry Cavill's done with The Witcher, which I called a year ago, I'm like, once he's done with that, he's going right to Superman.
Hopefully.
And I think so. Ben Affleck's going to do,
Hopefully.
He's going to do one more. I think he'll do one standalone and be done. No more Justice League, no more mixes.
No.
One standalone, hardcore, nice, good Matt Reeves movie. He'll be done. And then we'll get a new Batman. Hopefully they introduce a Nightwing, which Matt Reeves has been trying to do forever. I'm just saying, I agree with you. I think we're going to do it's not a reboot. I think we're getting the same actors, a side shuffle.
Yeah.
Just more of a studio, hey, we're going to focus on this. We're not doing universes. Because even Marvel, after this next movie, they're going to have to kind of rethink of, where are we going? We know what sequels we have, but, what are we doing?
I think, and I know this is a Warner Brothers thing, I'm glad you brought that up. I think what happens to both of these things is, as of January 1st, 2019, Disney, Marvel, and Warner Brothers DC will now move into separate directions. The MCU will fall heavy on Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, and the X-Men.
There you go. You got them all.
And then
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, and in Warner Brothers, they're going to fall heavy on Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and the Batman family. They're gonna concentrate on that.
Yeah.
And because with the
Which
Batman
I
family,
would count the Suicide Harley Quinn as Batman.
But think
family
about
and
it, why?
Joker.
Because that becomes an easy universe, and then you just plug and play everybody there.
Gotham's fun. You can throw everyone in Gotham.
It's like Spider-Man. It's like X-Men. You just plug and play people, and this is the way you do it. You know what you want, Alex? You want to know why Avengers is so successful? Because after watching these movies, we didn't realize that we wanted to team up until we realized, oh shit, they can team up.
Well, here's some other news for you, and it's gonna bring you to your conversation. But the reason, DC's weird, and Marvel's the same way, they will not do a TV show adaptation and a movie at the same time. That is why they're waiting for Gotham then. As much as people don't think they connect.
Yeah.
They're not going to do a Gotham show and a Gotham movie. That is why we have a Flash TV show, a Green Arrow TV show, and a Supergirl TV show. We're not going to get a Superman TV show. We get a cameo, and we were, beyond surprised we got that.
Yeah.
But guess what? We're not going to get a Superman on movies until this one's done. So there's going to be another 2 years of that. They just had an Elseworld that we got a Batwoman. We're never going to get a mix of characters. We might get mentions, and I know Titans just brought Batman in.
Which is so weird.
But I like that because it's I don't mind it. I guess you can talk more about Elseworlds because I don't watch the CW anymore because I'm not 14.
I'll go into the Elseworlds. I thought Elseworlds was great. I will agree with some people. It was the weaker of the crossovers.
Kind of like that. That's what I heard. I heard they kind of ran out of steam of the last ones.
But you want to know
how
why?
many more world-defying?
But this is what I think it was. This was definitely a setup to Crisis on Infinite Earths because this was Elseworlds. So you got Barry becoming Arrow and Oliver becoming the Flash.
And Supergirl just flew in.
Because she was from another dimension, so in their dimension it didn't matter.
Oh, okay.
But this is about the Anti-Monitor, the Book of Faith, and it was really fun. But it was a lot of references. And Alex, I've been watching Smallville my whole, since I was a teenager.
I watched Smallville. I'll unapologetically say I watched Smallville.
I watched all of Arrow. I'm watching Supergirl.
Lois and Clark.
I watched Lois and Clark. I watched all of these things, Alex, except for Krypton. But
Krypton's the best one.
I know, right? But here's the thing. I've never heard so many references to Batman in my life. I don't watch Titans. Okay, I'll be honest. I don't watch Titans.
It's okay.
Yeah, I don't watch Titans. But
Solid.
on the CW universe, never. Just blatantly saying Gotham like it was nothing. Bruce Wayne like it was nothing. The Batman one like it was nothing. Crane's gas. Bane's things. Bane's mask. And you know what it reminds me of? You know what it makes me think of? We're never going to see Batman in the TV universe.
But we knew that. They're never going to put Batman.
Because
the only reason they put him on the Titans is because that's a money thing. That's a DC-owned app for money.
Yeah.
Of course they do it. That's like Disney Plus. Like, of course we're gonna get these famous actors. Like, they're paying a lot of money for this. Like, if I'm gonna pay monthly $14.99, I better see at least Anthony Mackie and one of the Olsen sisters show up. You know, I better see Paul Bentley. Same with this. Like, yeah, I get CW not being able to do it, and it's like, okay, you're CW. Like, you're good. You're fine as is. You have your audience. It's not me. It's, you know, Mike's been with it forever. Mike also likes Supernatural people.
I do love
Lame.
Supernatural.
And I'm the minority in this because everyone loves Supernatural. I stopped watching after they kill. How many Super Devils can we get to, Mike?
Not enough.
Oh, man. You're probably one of those guys that's upset the genie's not blue in one picture.
Let's get right into that, Alex. The Aladdin Entertainment cover has been released. Disclaimer, Entertainment has some of the worst covers.
It does. And, like, you and me know that, but other people don't. I'm not going to come stupid because that's not their job. So they listen to us.
Yeah.
They have the worst covers
ever.
And at this point, it's almost like a throwback 90s thing where it's like, how bad can this cover be?
Yeah. No, it's horrible.
And guess what? I'm just happy. The pictures look great.
Yeah.
Scenery looks great. The actors are actually the same color as the characters should be.
Can I say something about Jasmine and Aladdin, too?
They look great.
They look beautiful together.
Yeah.
They look they look like a cute couple.
Guess what? Regardless if Genie's blue, well, she is blue.
He's blue, yeah.
And that's fine. I think he's going to be blue for some part and turn normal. I think Will Smith looks fantastic.
I think he looks fantastic. Can I say something, though? And maybe it's just because we're so deep into this. He sticks out like a sore thumb because he's mother effing Will Smith.
Like, he needs to, because you're trying to upstage Robin Williams.
I know.
And remember, Genie's character in this movie, like, I need Will Smith to go full Will Smith.
I agree.
And I think that's why he did the Instagram the whole year. And he's probably one of the best follows on social media nowadays.
Rock.
Yeah, like
let me show you.
He's surpassing The Rock, and that's impressive.
With his
and I do love The Rock too, but like he's on that level of like Kevin Hart and The Rock, and I'm like, I'm here for it because I need my Genie to be over the top. Because I can't deal with like a normal Robin Williams impression. I need a over the top Will Smith doing the whole "Mama No" and just old school Fresh Prince reference.
Yeah,
I need the dramatics, and like because you think like watch Aladdin, like that's all dramatics from Robin Williams. I love it, and I'm just excited. And I'm looking at, I see all positives.
I agree.
Jafar looks good. Abu looks good. I haven't seen Iago since the commercial. He looks great. Like the scenery looks good. They're putting a lot of love in this. And here's the thing I get upset with. Like, I don't want to see a big blue genie like anime. Like, you know, anime CGI. Because I saw Beauty and the Beast, and I thought they did too much. They went out of their way too much to make the Beast. I thought they could have done a simpler version, and I would have accepted it.
What if you get a Thanos type of CGI?
That's what I'm saying, like, for a little bit. Like, we are going to get, I think. I think we're going to get both. I think this movie, because remember, it's a live action, so they have to adapt at least, like, another 45 minutes. I think we're going to get a nice CGI Will Smith genie. And I think we're going to get, like, I can totally tell, like, in the cave, we're going to get a genie. At the end, we'll get a genie. But in the middle, he's going to be like, okay, I need to blend in a little more.
Right, yeah.
And he kind of turns into a normal guy with powers. And I'm calling it out. I think that's how we're going to get there because you have to do it in this movie.
Yeah.
I think that'll be fun. I think that'll be great.
Does Aladdin end the same way as the cartoon?
No, you can't.
Genie,
you're
free.
Oh, that part. I thought you were going to be like, oh, can I kiss the monkey with the when he has the Mickey Mouse hat and he leaves on vacation? Probably not exactly the same way.
But you think it's the same?
Yeah, I can't wait for a whole new world clip to come out.
Yeah. What is the first song that we hear? We've already heard the instrumental of Arabian Nights. But no. But in the first trailer where people are talking and it's an action trailer. Yeah. Do we hear Arabian Nights, A Whole New World?
Oh, you mean like in a trailer of the movie?
Yeah, what is the trailer of the
trailer.
movie? It has to be Arabian Nights, I think.
They've already done Arabian Nights. I think we'll get A Whole New World somewhere.
Maybe as an internet clip?
Yeah. I think Arabian Nights is the easiest one. It opens the movie, it's easy. And we might not even get the words for Arabian Nights. We might only get the music, because I don't know how many songs we're going to do. I think we have to get Never Had a Friend Like Me. I think that would be a big one to do. Yeah. I think that's the one you do if you get Will Smith first. And show, like, you know, when they did Beauty and the Beast, they showed a little bit of the clip of the dining room scene, Be My Guest.
Yeah.
I think we need something like that where, like, I need a little snippet of the commercial of, like, you know, Never Had a Friend Like Me, A Whole New World's big. Those are the ones you need in the movie. Riff Raff, Street Rat, you can probably do it out. I like it, but you can do it out.
I will say this. I think it is almost impossible. I don't think it can happen. There is no way this movie can beat Lion King in the box office.
No, nothing beats Lion King. Lion King has a little easier job because you can make a shorter movie with just the animals.
Sure. But
there's no dealing with this actors or anything.
You're feeling it though. You could feel it. People love Aladdin and people love the cartoon. And it was always a debate. It's always a debate between 90s babies, Aladdin, and Lion King.
But Lion King's always like always snips it a little bit more.
And it feels more like that in live action too. It feels even more like, oh no. For sure Lion King is better than Aladdin.
I think you and me walk out saying Aladdin.
I love Aladdin though.
I think Aladdin's even better.
But like
I think they're gonna do so many crazy things that you and me are like, damn, that all worked.
And argue, and I think I don't know if we've actually done it on this podcast, but we've done it on, maybe just on other shows that we've done the Disney animation bracket.
No, we did it last year. We did March.
We did it in March.
Yeah, we did it in March.
And I think you and I always come down to it. It's Aladdin and Lion King. And
obviously we took out Pixar because we did a separate Pixar one.
So
it's Aladdin. Yeah, it's Aladdin.
So I'm excited for it. Alex, I think it's pretty cool. We're kind of running down on the episode. We're getting the red light, but I think it's kind of cool. The fact that Aquaman and Bumblebee are coming out, our focus kind of changes for a little while. We're going to have some horror movies come out. We're going to have some blockbusters, but mostly we're going to get into award season.
I'm going to be doing my breakdown.
Yeah.
So my first one will be Roma. I have
Very
that for next week.
To hear about
then
this,
I'm going to do A Star Is Born.
Mm-hmm.
Then I will be doing everything up till then. I'm trying to figure out my third one. Maybe we'll let the fans vote in what the third one's going to be. But that's the next 2 weeks, and then we'll have a review every week leading up to Oscars. The way we're going to do it is not only just the movies. If I see maybe 2 actors from a movie got it, I'll watch that. Yeah. If I see maybe it got a lot of visual ones, I'll watch that sort of thing. Because obviously there's only about 8 to 10 movies.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to be like, well, this actor got a nom, so let's double check that,
And I don't like to toot our own horn a lot. I know you do. You'll do it for us on the show, but I'm going to do it right here. We got a lot of praise last season because we crushed the Oscar pool. We knew exactly where the votes were going to go. So if you're in your own pool, at work, at the office, online, make sure you're staying with us here at The Good Brothers.
Win some money.
He's at Mercado21 Alex on Twitter. I'm at mmercado2333. Follow our picks. We are on the pulse of where the award season's going. We could tell you where the controversies are leading to, and we promise you we will give you our best analysis of why and who will win the Academy Awards throughout the season. If you're a fantasy football player, if you bet on sports, and you also want to make some money on pop culture and movies, stick with us here on The Good Brothers. Speaking of all that, fantasy football, The Good Brothers.
Bears clinch.
We are in fantasy football championships in different leagues. We have the Bears, who are NFC North Division champions, King of the North, have taken back. And Alex, let's just, before we wrap things up, I want to talk about how great 2018 has been for us. And I'm excited to finish up the year strong. And to have this opportunity to talk about, this is the first time since 2010. The Bears are NFC North champions. And they look like they have a legit shot of winning the Super Bowl.
They're winning the Super Bowl, Mike. I told you every week they're winning the Super Bowl. And now it's not a joke, actually.
And we talk about it on Sports from the Couch here on the Mercado Airways Network. Make sure you guys check out our past episode. We actually had an interview with the man herself, Becky Lynch, before her huge main event at WWE TLC, which you can catch on the WWE Network right now. And there's a possibility, it's starting to rumble, she might be in the main event against her rival, Ronda Rousey. Make sure you guys check out our interview with the man herself, Becky Lynch. But Alex, I gave you a lot of crap about it because you're a loudmouth, but there is some validity of you saying they can win the Super Bowl. There's a chance by this weekend they will be the number 2 seed in the NFC. There's a chance that the NFC road to the Super Bowl leads through Chicago. And there's a real possibility that the Bears can win this Super Bowl decisively. I don't think that's a possibility.
I really think so because they've showed the Bears, you look at NFC weakness, it's the Bears. All these great teams, you're like, oh, they're great. Until they play the Bears, and you're like, man, that defense is solid. They can move the ball, honestly. Mitchell Trubisky is not the savior. I don't think he's a dammer either.
No, I think but here's the thing,
I don't think it's a Jay Cutler thing where, he'll lose us a game. I think it's something he's not bad.
But and it's an upgrade. He's a total upgrade as a quarterback. But the quarterback is still the position in which, in all teams, you win and lose on your quarterback.
Nick Foles won people Super Bowl. I think Mitchell Trubisky can do it.
I think this defense can. And I've made 3 points about it. As long as you stay healthy.
That's a big one.
You don't turn over the ball. And you play through Chicago. You can win the Super Bowl.
I think they can. And I'm going with, you have yours from the beginning. San Diego Chargers.
Yeah.
And now you have the Bears. I
have the Bears.
I'm going to go Bears. And my original pick was the Rams in Pittsburgh. I'm saying Bears in Pittsburgh.
That's gonna be good. That would be a good Super Bowl.
I think it'll be fun.
I actually picked Atlanta versus San Diego. LA Rams. I keep going to San Diego, and it sucks because I'm a radio professional. I keep going to San Diego. I just love San Diego so much. I wish they had a football
but they're
team.
gonna break your heart like they always do, dude.
But this is the same argument about the Bears, except they have a more established quarterback. They have a more established running back. They have good wide receivers.
We dance better and we celebrate
better.
We work hard and we party hard.
There's no team that celebrates and is more likable than the Chicago Bears right now in the NFL. So maybe we get a Bears-Kansas City Super Bowl.
America's team. Nah,
I hope
so. We'll fuck up Kansas City.
Yeah, I will say this, though. I think the Bears are going to the Super Bowl. Let's just say they don't. In some multiverse, they don't.
Nah, they do.
There's some great matchups this year.
No, yeah, it's going to be a fun playoffs.
Yeah, there's some. The idea that the Philadelphia Eagles could sneak up into the playoffs.
The
Cowboys. You
have San Diego and
LA. You mean I keep doing the San Diego thing. Yeah. You have the Chargers, Kansas City. You have New England.
Oh my God, it is LA.
Pittsburgh.
Why do I keep saying San Diego?
Because they're more fun.
You have the Chargers and Rams, number 1 and 2 in the wild cards. Like, it's gonna be a fun last week. That throws off some people's fantasy teams now.
Completely.
And that sucks.
Good luck to everybody in the
And guess what? The
finals,
Patriots aren't going to win the Super Bowl or go probably. That's fun.
But I will say this, though. They're the only team who still scares me in December.
They don't scare
January.
me. I don't think they're scary. I think it's like the year of Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady's kind of done. I think we're finally moving forward.
See, here's the thing. Well, yes,
it's a running back and defense league again.
Aaron Rodgers is a 35-year-old quarterback who's been in the league a long time, has had multiple injuries, gets hurt a lot. But I will say this. He's still Aaron Rodgers. And if you give him protection in any given year on any given team, he can take anybody to a Super Bowl. And that's my point.
Yeah, take him to a playoffs.
You have to cash in now.
Yeah.
Look around the league. Teams that don't cash in, this is the same group of Bears will not be together next year. There's no guarantee that Akeem Hicks, who's a little bit older of a defensive lineman, who's already had leg issues.
It's like you said with the Eagles. It's like the Eagles, I don't care if they're bad the next year. I want to win now. I don't care what happens next year or year before. Just win now.
Look at the turmoil in a different sport with the Cubs. I mean, the Cubs right now, there's talk they won't. And I don't think it's going to happen. They're not going to get Bryce Harper or Manny Machado.
No, probably not.
And they had a hard offseason. They're having tough times with their coaches, and there's a lot of talk about future players won't be in here. But they won a World Series. Yeah. So they bought themselves so much time.
You bought yourself at least 5 years.
Easily.
And you're still playoff contenders. You're like, we're good because you won. But you only can do that if you won. Because look what happens to the Bulls, dude.
That's a
great
example.
Downfall of a franchise.
And what kills me about the Bulls right now is this notion that they've done something. This front office hasn't done nothing. They got lucky with a draft pick and a lottery ball falling into them. They've had fights with coaches. They have had fights with players. And what upsets me most is now they have this Coach Carter wannabe as a head coach right now out there choking other teams' players. This Bulls organization is a joke.
Only Sam Jackson can do that, guys.
And let me tell you something. When your Bulls organization leads ESPN Scott Van Pelt the day of a Monday Night Football game, it's not because you're winning. It's because you're the most embarrassing franchise in your sport. We have a lot of thoughts like that, a lot of comments, a lot of opinions like that on Sports from the Couch here on the Mercado Airways Network. Make sure you guys check us out there. Last thoughts, good brother. I want to just go right back to SpiderVerse. I'm so high on this movie. I love it. I think it's going to be one of those that jumps first to second for the next 10, 15 years until, maybe Far From Home is going to be a banger, but
I think Far From Home, I told you last time, I hated Homecoming. I think I'm going to love Far From Home.
I love his Spidey suit in Far From Home.
I think I'm going to love Far From Home. I think I'm going to love it, and I'm going to come out saying, man, I wish Homecoming was
But I think you trust Jake more. I think you trust Jake.
I think they finally know what they want to do, and I think we're going to get I just think they know what they want to do, and I just don't think they knew what they had with Spider-Man at first. I think they were very safe. And I don't think they're going to be safe in this next one because after Avengers, you can't be safe anymore.
And I wanted to make a pin on an opinion I made in the beginning about Spider-Verse. Yes, Peter lives through these extremes. But I think what makes Marvel, and it was one of the things Steve Ditko and Stan Lee made this so great, is they have identifiable characteristics with these Marvel characters. And that's why they've been so successful.
That's more, yeah.
And that's what I think Spider-Man and Peter Parker and Miles Morales is such a great fodder for great material and great movies and comic books. And we are lucky that we live in a day and age where we're getting these representation, not just representation for the sake of representation, but for the sake of great movie making, storytelling, and opportunity. So shout out, make sure you guys check out Into the Spider-Verse. Keep it with us here on the network as we review Bumblebee and Aquaman, two of the biggest hits of the holiday season. And of course, we're going to have some great TV and movie reviews outside of the major blockbusters. Netflix is coming out with some hot stuff. Alex is going to go really deep into this Oscar season and so much more. So we really appreciate you guys joining us here on The Good Brothers. Make sure you guys follow us all over social media. Alex, I just got to look from you. What happened?
So we got 2 breaking news.
Okay, here we
Hellboy trailer finally released.
Was it a trailer or teaser?
The trailer released early today. And 2, so by the time this episode comes out, it will be out. And 2, EW, the bad company, also released new photos from John Wick 3. And
God.
guess what, guys? More dogs.
Oh my God,
I know you love that, guys.
Yes. All right, you know what?
That's about it. That's it. Yeah.
There's no better way to end the episode. Make sure you guys follow us all over social media. If you guys want to see how Sonic the Hedgehog looks or how the Genie looks or any of that fun stuff, make sure you guys follow us. I'm on Twitter at mmercado2333. Alex is at Mercado21. Alex, you can follow the show at Good Brothers Pod and the network at Mercado Airwaves. You can even follow Nicole on Twitter at Typing When Tipsy. We're all on Instagram. He's at Mercado2121. I'm at Mike Mercado2333. You can follow Nicole at Typing When Tipsy. And we have a true crime show for you guys. Murder, mysteries, and more. We have some really cool, interesting stuff there. So check us out. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/Mike Mercado2333, or search Mercado Airwaves. Leave a comment in the comment section below and be part of the conversation. Come play video games with us, guys. Twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. Download us, like, rate, review, and share us anywhere you get your favorite podcasts at iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Podbean, at Mercado Airwaves. Check out our interviews ad-free before anybody else at Patreon. Patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. We've had on Demetrius Johnson, Orlando Jones, Becky Lynch. You can check them all out ad-free before anybody else. We have a tier just for you at Patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. And, of course, a huge thank you to Munch Art Design for powering us here at the network. Just like him on Facebook at Munch Art Design. For the good brother himself, Alex Mercado.
And I'm gone.
I'm Mike Mercado. We'll see you on the next episode of The Good Brothers here on Mercado Airwaves. Bye.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333. Thanks for joining us here on The Good Brothers, here on Mercado Airwaves. If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333. If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333. If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
It's another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
Hey,
buddy?
sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.